Venus. And I'm Terry Bowman, the creator and founder of the Brain Wellness Spa and Q&R, Quantum Neuro Recoding. And I'm here to introduce one of my shining stars, Jamie Stott. Now, Jamie's going to just share with you a little bit about her background, how she came to see us, what some of the journey and everything in between. So Jamie, just say hello to the camera.
Hello everyone! Happy Mental Health Week. We specifically are filming this today because obviously it's Mental Health Week and we want to raise awareness. I want to show people that no matter how much you're struggling, you can recover, you can move on from the absolute hell of your life that you're living right now. Before I continue, I want to put a trigger warning on this because I will be showing some of my scars. I know that when I was unwell, seeing other people's scars would trigger me off. So if you can't stand seeing scars or hearing stories about suicide attempts or things like that, please shut off now. But if you can, please keep watching because it'll be very interesting, won't it, Terry?
Very interesting.
Okay, so basically, where do I start?
Just start. When was the first time that your parents knew that there was a problem or something not right?
Okay, so in 2012, December, I went on a World Challenge trip through my school to Botswana, and I was volunteering in a HIV orphanage, and that's when things started to go pear-shaped because I remember we were in their new slot and I was helping doing the gardening because we were doing a veggie garden for the orphanage where they were going to move into that slot. And I saw in Africa there's these big thorns and they're really, really sharp, and I just felt so overwhelmed. I went into the portable loo and just started scratching myself with this thorn. I don't know where it came from, never ever done that behaviour before in my whole life. But just started doing it. And then luckily I had a friend there with me who experienced these behaviours earlier on in school, and she picked it up and she started trying to help me while we were over there. But as soon as I got back, that's when things changed. I was really depressed all the time, wouldn't get out of bed, really grumpy, starting to swear at my parents all the time, which I never used to do. I never used to swear. I don't know where that came from.
So this behaviour was really acute, and it was an onset that actually happened really quite.
Yeah. And I think the factoring in that I also had the diagnosis of high functioning autism. I think the what's the word? The
Separation?
Insecurity, the separation. I didn't know the environment. I'd never been to Africa before. I didn't know what to expect. I was there with poor children with no money, no parents, nothing. And then the owners of the orphanage that were trying to look after like 50 kids, And I think it was just a shock to the system. I didn't know what to do, what to react, how to do anything. So I think it just clicked in my brain like a switch that, I don't know, that it was just too overwhelming. And unfortunately, I didn't have any way of switching that switch off again myself. So it just spiraled into all these really destructive behaviours, sleeping in bed all the time, not going anywhere, not doing anything, not being motivated. When I was at school, I was so motivated with my study. I was always studying all the time, getting good grades. Even though I had learning difficulties, I was still getting good grades because I had that support. But as soon as I left school, it was like that motivation was gone. I had no direction. I didn't have my schedules that I had with my autism. I had set daily schedules that I did, routines, everything like that. But then when I left school, they were all gone. So I kind of lost purpose. I didn't know what to do. It was weird. It was really weird.
So you left school. When did your illness? Because when your mum and dad actually contacted me, you
Yeah.
were actually probably at the most severe point of your
Yeah.
illness. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So how did your illness escalate? Was it the way you were thinking? Was it your fear patterns? Was it because you were so confused in your brain? Was it because you kept saying to me you had voices?
Yes.
So tell the people a little bit about the voices and how they were controlling you. Because
Okay. So basically, I think the voices started when I started to go into hospital
Mhm.
because I was put on different medications. I think that might have reacted with a bit of my autism. It might have reacted with just the way my brain was functioning. You get influence from other patients. They do, like in hospital, a lot of people with mental health issues rely on drugs and alcohol, and there was a lot of talk about that. So when I left hospital, I would start smoking pot and trying different things, like I tried acid and ecstasy and all this sort of stuff, which didn't do me any good. I think that's when the voices started the strongest, because all those things, the chemical imbalance in my brain was just extreme. So there was something in my head that was just triggering this voice. It wasn't an external voice like some people hear, like telling them to do things in different personalities. This was an inside voice. It was telling me to do things, but it was my voice, if you know what I mean. It was inside my head. It wasn't different characters. So, but this was a constant thing. Every day I would wake up, we would say, go back to bed. Like, you don't deserve to be alive. You don't deserve to be here. Go cut yourself. You deserve to feel pain. You need to punish yourself. That's what my self-harm was all about, was punishing myself. Say someone walked past me who I knew, said hi, but they said it in the wrong tone. They said, hi Jamie. Instead of hi Jamie, I'd go, shit, I've done something wrong, let's go cut. Because I would have to, or burn, or with my self-harm, it's a lot of different things. It's burning, cutting, biting, punching myself. With my autism, it's a lot of rocking and like hair pulling and things like that. But these voices would encourage me to do these bad behaviours.
They're quite controlling, aren't they?
Very controlling.
Yeah, you can't. When you've got something inside your mind and your brain controlling you, you actually physically, you can't stop yourself from doing the act. Was that what
Yeah,
it was like?
definitely. And even with like eating, sleeping, everything that my life was consumed of. Like one day the voice would say, don't eat, you don't deserve it. Next day they would say, eat a lot, because I don't even know why they said that. Just you've got to comfort it. You've got to try and stop these emotions. So just eat. So with the medications, and the overeating, I put on about 80 kilos in 5 years. I recently lost just 16, so I am a lot slimmer than my last video. Thank goodness. But
the medication doesn't help.
And I've come off a lot of my medications, that's why I've lost the weight. But the medications, like, I'm going to name a few if that's okay. Like Seroquel is a big one with putting on weight, and lithium, but not for everyone. Some people lose weight on lithium. It depends on your body structure, but with me personally, I put on a lot of weight with all of my medications. Didn't matter if you're supposed to put on weight with these medications, I did. So but a lot of them either make you increase your appetite or decrease your appetite, and for me it increased my appetite. I was just binge eating all the time. Like when I would come home from hospital, I would just go buy stacks of cookies, chocolate, chips, stack them in a little box in my room, and at night, like when I couldn't sleep or I'd wake up and be hungry, I would just shove my mouth with all these
It's just
things.
a vicious cycle.
Oh, it is, yeah.
Damned if you do and damned if you don't.
And then I would put on the weight, and then I'd hate myself more, and then I would self-harm more because I was big, and then people would stare at me more, and it was just this vicious cycle.
So when you were self-harming, you were cutting, like,
I can show you. So I've got a lot of I've got a big burn here.
so with the burn, what did you do there?
So this one, this is quite graphic. So just warning you, I couldn't stand holding a lighter to myself anymore. So I did quite a drastic thing, and I sprayed a whole heap of flammable spray on myself, and then I lit it on fire, and my whole hand, I was just watching it, my whole hand was on fire for about 5 minutes. And I didn't know what to do. I didn't know whether to put it out or just let it burn, because the voice was saying, just watch it, just let it burn, let it burn. But then another part of me was going, shit, put it out, put it out. So I did it a couple of times, because I put it out and then my voice would go, no, put it back on. So I would do it a couple of times. So that's why it was quite severe. So it's left quite a big scar there. This, I've got a big burn here, which is covered by cuts now, but, or old scars rather. That one was with holding a lighter there, and I had to have surgery on that one. I had to have a skin graft. So I've got all these pressure bandages at home that I had to put on, like these pressure garments that they'd make for you. They would sew them and stuff. So I wear them every night to try and keep the keloiding down. Keloiding is when your scars go bumpy, like this one. It's just, I think the collagen in the skin produces it to go. Don't quote me on that, because I'm not a nurse, but yeah, so I've got them on my legs as well. They're just cuts, but I would go into this frame of mind where I wouldn't even know what I was doing. So I knew what I was doing when I would take the razor or take the blade or whatever, right? But as soon as I got to the place where I was going to do it, I would black out mentally. And I would just attack myself. And then as soon as I would come out of that space, I would either go, wow, that's deep, you've done your job, or that's not deep enough. You know what I mean? And like, it's very invalidating when you go to hospital and the nurses or doctors say, oh, that's not too bad, just a few steri strips, and then my head's going, no, that's not deep enough. And I would try and pull them apart, make them deeper. Or I would always take the stitches out, the staples out, and try and reduce the healing process, because I didn't think I deserved to heal.
And that was the voices telling you
That was the voices and myself.
Yeah.
Because the voices would make myself believe it and say it to myself over again.
Yeah. So there was lots of self-harm. How many times have you been in hospital? Tell us a little bit about that.
So the journey started with hospital when I in 2014 January, I think it was, so my mental health started in about 2013. 2014 I went to Perth Clinic for the first time under one doctor, and then I did a few self-harm in there, got kicked out, and then I went on to another doctor in Perth Clinic. I think I tried to end my life in there because I was bullied a lot by this certain person, which didn't help, because I'd been bullied a lot in my younger days at school, and that just triggered off those kind of PTSD kind of memories. So I kind of related to that trauma from when I was in primary school, year 6, to what was happening there. And then I just started self-harming and trying to kill myself in hospital. They kicked me out there. I don't actually know the pattern of which hospitals I was in next, but I went to Hollywood, Marion Centre, Greylands, Midland, Joondalup, Sir Charles Gardner. I've been in hospital about nearly 60 times, yeah. And I've had about 50 sessions of a therapy called ECT. It's electroconvulsive therapy, and they put you under general anaesthetic. So it's basically a surgery on your brain, but they don't cut you open. They put probes on your head, and they zap your brain
Electricity.
with electricity. Yeah, I got an extreme amount of memory loss. They were going to keep doing it on me, but then they just thought, no, you've got too much memory loss, we won't do this anymore. And I was like, what if I hadn't had the memory loss? They would have done about 80, 100 sessions on me. What did I have next? I'll be dead.
And did that change your behaviour?
Well, I had 2 different diagnoses. I had major depression and borderline personality disorder. So the major depression, it helped a lot.
Mm-hmm.
I was a lot happier, but then the voice of the BPD was still there, right?
Mm-hmm.
So the BPD behaviours were still there. They didn't go away, but the depression lifted. So it's really funny how your brain works, because once one thing's eliminated, another thing pops up. Now that I'm recovered from my mental illness, my autism pops up. So it's like, oh, you can't escape it, you know? So, but autism is a lot better than mental illness. And it's fun sometimes, because you're a lot more brighter and outgoing, and maybe it's a bit overwhelming for some people because I'm a lot more like kind of in your face sometimes, but it's not like drawn back in bed all the time, you know. It's totally different. It's a lot better.
Yeah, look, you're experiencing life instead of contracting.
Yeah,
life.
exactly. And even though I'm mentioning my autism a lot in this video, I don't really mention it a lot out in the community. I don't tell the random Joe out there like, oh, I've got autism, because I don't like putting a label there. I'm only saying it in this video to let you know what my life is in depth, but with strangers, they wouldn't know. Like, it's not very obvious with me.
No,
it's only when I'm in distress I'll rock and things like that, and not be able to calm myself down. But in social situations, I'm pretty normal, you know.
So let's talk about, you know, we had one of our sessions that we had together. You know, the journey that we had has been good. Then we actually had a bit of a relapse,
Yeah.
and that relapse, you know, put you back in hospital a long
Yeah.
time ago, and then you came back, and okay, we got you back on track, and then
Yeah.
and then this is where you are today. So the road to recovery, everyone's got to know, when you've got complex severe mental illness, the road to recovery can be a very rocky road.
Oh, it sure can. I'm glad you brought that up, actually, because I have had a few messages from people saying, oh, why is this time different? You said last time you were recovered, but now you're saying you're recovered. How is that different? You're just going to go backwards again. And what I've got to reiterate to everyone is that I made that horrible decision to stop my treatment because I thought, right, I'm cured, you know, fine, whatever. This is over now, I can get on with my life. But no, that's not the thing. With this type of therapy, you've got to keep going for a long time, because your brain is always going to be in a state of struggle, whether or not complete struggle, but, you know, a little bit. Say you lose a friend or you don't get the job or something, you know, there's
always
that
problems. There's
yeah
always
problems, that's
yeah.
what I mean, not struggle, problems. So you've got to keep going no matter what, because life is going to throw you those struggles.
So, you know, so we had this chat one day, and you said to you never realise how selfish you are when
Yes.
you're mentally ill.
Yeah.
Let's chat about that, because also too, there might be mothers looking at this, there might be fathers looking at this, there might be family members. What actually happens with mental illness, it's a reality of the mind and the brain. And because it's real to the person, it may not look real to the family, but it is very real. What Jamie was experiencing with the voices and everything was very real to her, and she couldn't help but respond to the way that her brain was reacting and the reality of her brain. So just tell me a little bit about the selfishness. That your awareness is so much better now.
Yeah. So basically, when you're trapped in that illness, in that struggle, you think you're thinking of others, but you're really not. You are so selfish. Like, even I'm experiencing with people now, like relying on others, even if the other person's struggling as well, saying things like I'm struggling, I want to kill myself, things like that. You think, it's really hard to explain. You think that you're thinking of others, but all you're thinking is, I want to do this, I want to do that. You know, you don't think of your parents. What are they going to think if you kill yourself? They're not going to have a daughter anymore. They're not going to have a son anymore. You know, so I've had experience with suicide. My uncle committed suicide, and I know how much hurt that has brought to my dad's side of the family. My nana brings him up all the time, talks about him, and I cannot believe how selfish I was to try and commit suicide over 10, 20 times, you know, because when you're in that frame of mind, all you can think about is what's going on in your head. And even when you have the voices, that's all you can hear. Someone like mum could be talking to me and I would just be staring.
Trapped in the voices.
Yeah, staring and just off with it. And one thing that I'll mention as well is I used to dissociate a lot. So that would kind of be me just kind of blacking out my mind. I wouldn't know where I was, what I was doing. I would just be staring into the air and I wouldn't be there. But like my mum or my dad would see me kind of staring, but I wouldn't be there in my head, you know, and when you're trapped in that dissociation or the voices, all you can think about is that. Like, I have to do this, I have to do that. Not, oh, this might hurt my parents, this might hurt, you know, my sister. But no, it's all in your head.
And you were saying that sometimes you were just jumping out in front of cars.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah,
and
that's another thing with the selfishness. I would do so many things, like try and jump in front of trains. What horrible thing the train driver would think if they killed someone. If a child was sitting in the front with their parent, you know, in a car where I jumped in front of, or there was an old person in the car, they would be so traumatized. They might even die because they've braked to stop me and they've flown through the windscreen, you know? You just don't think of those things. You just think, I need to kill myself, I'm going to do this. You know, you don't think of the bystanders, the people who are going to run you over, you know? The nurses that are going to find you collapsed in the bathroom, the parents that are going to find you collapsed in the bathroom. You know, it's such a selfish world. Such a selfish world. And don't get me wrong, it's not your fault, okay? You're stuck in this illness. It's not your fault that you're selfish. But when you recover, you will see that.
Your awareness is
so just remember it's not your fault.
So that's all the bad times. Let's talk about the good times. Let's talk about who's Jamie today? How's she experiencing life? Have the voices gone?
Oh, completely.
Yeah. Let's talk about Jamie.
Oh, where do I start? So I get up in the morning. I've found this love for makeup and fashion now.
Look at her.
I don't know where this came from. When I was a kid, I was a tomboy, rolling in the dirt, playing soccer, playing taekwondo. Like, I would never go near makeup, never go near fashion. But now, all of a sudden, I'm I've just like clicked into this girly girl. It's like this total new thing. So I've gotten myself a makeup table. I do my makeup every morning. Not even if I'm not going out, I do my makeup, get changed, because I explore what I look good in, what look my makeup, like what my makeup will look like for what outfit and things like that. I go out, I catch the buses and trains now with ease, and I always spark up a conversation with the drivers because they must sit there on the bus going, oh, another day driving a bus, like no one's going to talk to me, but I jump on the bus, hi, how are you, how's your day? And they're like, oh God, like, but even with my parents, like they've got to tell me to just be quiet sometimes because I just talk really loud. My dad just goes, oh my God, like quieten down a bit, like, because I'm just so energetic all the time, and mum's trying to remind my dad that this is the new me now, like you can't tell her to calm down because this is her, like you're gonna have to get used to it type thing. But I'm applying for jobs now, like in the fashion industry. I went to a unit opening yesterday, which hopefully, fingers crossed for me, I will get. I'm getting a call in the next couple of days to tell me whether or not I've got it. I've already looked at how I'm going to get the furniture and everything. But if I look back at years ago, I literally thought I would be a zombie not a literal zombie, you know what I mean, like on meds, in a mental health facility where nurses would be following me everywhere because I can't be trusted with anything. I any object I would snap and stab myself or something, or so I literally thought that I had no future. I'd be in a mental facility, I'd be followed by a nurse, they would be monitoring my meds all the time. Now, I do my own meds. I have my blister pack, I can be trusted with my blister pack. Every week that I finish my blister pack, I high-five myself, I go, yes, you've coped with a week's worth of blister pack and not even thought about taking them all. You know what I mean? So I just do so many things now that I shock myself. I give my friends advice and I'm like, where did that come from? Like, where did this positivity come from? Like, I don't, it's never, in this past 5-6 years, it's never been there. Then all of a sudden it's there and I'm like, wow.
And that's all because that you came in to do the brain.
Yes,
the
because
the brain wellness part.
Yeah, and my dad actually brought me in. His best mate's daughter was doing friend therapy sessions with you, and she got in contact with my dad and said, look, take her here. And he basically said to me, he didn't give me a choice. He said, Jamie, you're going here. He wasn't even going to tell me, but I said, where are we going? And he said, we're going here, but like, you have no choice, you have to go. And so I don't know if you remember when I first came to see you, I was very grumpy. I didn't want to be there. I was just like, this is the chair, like, who are you? But honestly, when I woke up from the first session, I thought I was high on drugs. Like, honestly, I was that happy and that jovial that I thought, like, this can't be real. This can't be synthetic. Not synthetic. This can't be, real. Yeah. Because I've only felt that stuff from synthetic stuff, like pot, but not in real life, you know? But now I feel like I'm high every day because I'm just high on life, you know? And I shock my parents every day, like with the conversations I have with them and like just saying all this positive stuff. And I want to study a teacher's aide because when I was at school I had learning difficulties. I was in the learning support centre every day, and they influenced me so much in my education, in my life. And now I want to go back to the same school that I went to, St Mary's, and work in that learning support centre and give back to what they gave me when I was there. And when I was at school, I was studying conservation land management. Where did teachers' aid come from? It's like I'm a completely different person. Like, my whole personality has changed, and it feels like my struggles were in a different lifetime. Like, it was like
really separated.
It's like a dream that I've had, and I'm waking up and going, wow, that was shit. And then I go, okay, I'm just going to get on with my day, let's go.
So let's talk about your personality. Your personality could be really quite aggressive.
Oh, yeah. I would be swearing to my parents all the time.
Dominant?
Yep. The amount of times that I would attack the the security guards at the hospital because they'll try and grab me, and I'd punch them and kick them, and I'd be sedated so many times and chucked in the seclusion room because I was aggressive and punching walls, punching myself. I even held up a knife to my own mum. Like, I was in crisis, and all I wanted to do was hurt myself. That's all I had in my head. And she got in the way, and she bloody shouldn't have, because I nearly hurt her. I had a knife up against her and was going to hurt her, and then my dad stepped in, luckily. But
So describe your personality.
no, that's right. Sorry. My dad didn't step in, my mum beat me. That's right.
Mum's in the background videoing. You just did a reminder.
Yeah.
Describe your personality. Your personality was aggressive. It was irrational. It was moody. It was angry. It was dominant. It was controlling. It was right out there, wasn't it?
Oh, it was like hell to live with. I don't even know how my parents put up with me without kicking me out. Like, honestly, I would have kicked my own child out. Like,
so describe your personality now.
Oh, happy, jovial, outgoing, bubbly. Like, my friends can't believe it's the same person. They speak to me on the phone and I'm like, hang on, I'm just gonna pinch myself.
Are you more loving?
Oh yeah, like, I've had a few problems with my dad in the past, and now if something's going a bit skew-whiff in our relationship, I'll just turn it around and go like, oh, don't worry, Dad, haha, and give him a hug, like, you know. So the whole presence of me in the room has changed, because it's just radiating positivity now, when before it was getting people down. They would be upset and depressed with my presence because I would be so depressed.
So how hard was the treatment here?
Oh, easy. I don't even have to think about that. Easy.
What did you have to do?
All you do is sit in this amazing, comfy recline chair. You put it up. You lay back. Listen to music.
Which has got nothing to do with the coding. So
No. So I don't even know that Terry's speaking to me. And some people have said, "Well, is she speaking to you?" And I was like, "Of course she is." Like, what? She's just gonna sit there and stare at me sleeping? Like, seriously. So, sometimes if the music is down low enough, I can hear you like whispering. But no, you listen to this calming music. It's like birds singing and the wind whistling and all this calming stuff, and you basically fall asleep. And like Terry said to me earlier, I snore, I burp, I fart, do all that sort of stuff when I'm sleeping. She just has to sit there and, get on with it. But it's so relaxing. You wake up and it's like you've just had the best energizing sleep ever. And it's like it's a new day. You've come in Wednesday and you think it's Thursday the next day, because it's like a brand new feeling, brand new day.
So we'll better wrap it up. Janie, if you've got a message to share this with the audience today, what would that message be?
Basically, my idol, Demi Lovato, well, one of my idols, Demi Lovato, she's struggled through her life. She's a big star. She's struggled through her life with, she's just had a recent overdose and gone to treatment. And she sung this song. And I'll sing it for you right now.
Okay.
It's called Warrior, and it goes, now I'm a warrior, I've got thicker skin, I'm a warrior, I'm stronger than I've ever been, and my armor is made of steel, you can't get in, I'm a warrior, mental illness can hurt me again. And obviously, thank you to Terry, because I wouldn't be here without you. Your treatment has just helped me tremendously. I can't even say words. And I wouldn't be this positive. I wouldn't be sitting in this room. I would be dead. I would be dead. And I cannot believe, thank you. I love this lady so much.
I love this girl too. She gives the best hugs. So So we'll wrap it up now, and you know, mental illness can strike you at any time, like with Jamie, like with me, like with a lot of other people. You can be strong, you can have a life. You know, I know my life was 45 years of age, and all of a sudden my world turned upside down. Never been mentally ill, never been depressed, never been anxious. So take care of yourself, take care of those that you love them, be compassionate, and just be understanding, and also to let them know that there is real help out there. See ya.
Bye. Thank you.